Good morning, faculty. As we begin a new school year, I want to take a few minutes to explain how informal observations and classroom walkthroughs will be used throughout the school year. My goal is for walkthroughs to be viewed as an opportunity for collaboration, reflection, and professional growth, not as a gotcha or a substitute for the formal evaluation process. Informal observations provide administrators with opportunities to see instruction in action, celebrate what teachers are doing well, and provide meaningful feedback that can strengthen teaching and learning. According to Nash and Hart of 2022, effective coaching begins with relationships and trust. And so I want you to know what you can expect from me throughout this process. There are three primary purposes for our informal walkthroughs. The first walkthrough will help us identify instructional strengths and successes. I want to see the effective practices happening throughout our classrooms so we can recognize and share those strengths. Second, walkthroughs will provide opportunities for professional growth. Observation evidence can help teachers reflect on instruction and identify specific areas for continued development. According to Gusky and Link of 2022, research suggests that feedback is most useful when it's specific, timely, and focused on improving practice. And our third, walkthroughs are going to help us monitor our school wide instructional priorities and student engagement. Looking across classrooms allows us to identify trends and determine where additional professional learning resources or support may be beneficial. And so our process will follow a simple coaching cycle of observe, collect evidence, reflect, provide feedback, and follow up. And Tarsky of 2022 describes coaching as an ongoing cycle rather than just a single conversation. Similarly, Nash and Hart of 2022 also emphasize that coaching should empower teachers through reflection and a collaborative professional learning. The frequency of our walkthroughs are going to occur regularly throughout the school year, and so my goal will be to visit classrooms approximately 2 to 3 times per month, while visits lasting about 10 to 15 minutes. These visits will be intentionally brief and frequent so I can see instruction across different times of the day, subjects, instructional activities, and classroom settings. Walkthroughs will not always be announced in advance because I want to see authentic classroom instruction. At the same time, the purpose is not to create anxiety. A walkthrough is simply one snapshot of instruction, not a complete judgment of a teacher's effectiveness. And so, multiple observations and pieces of evidence will be considered um, when providing feedback. As far as the observation expectations, um, what should you expect when I walk into your classroom? So, when I enter, I will quietly observe without interrupting instruction. I will look at what students are doing, how students are engaging with the learning, instructional strategies being used, classroom routines, questioning, differentiation, checks for understanding, and evidence of learning. I am not going to expect you to stop teaching or change your lesson or address me when I enter. I want you to continue teaching as you normally would. Students should also expect the same thing. They should continue participating in the lesson, following classroom expectations, and interacting naturally with their teacher and their classmates. From me, you can expect professionalism, consistency, and curiosity. I'm going to enter your classroom with the mindset of a curious colleague rather than someone looking for mistakes. Connor and Frohl of 2022 explain that approaching observations with curiosity helps observers better understand what's happening in the classroom rather than immediately making judgments. From teachers, I expect authentic instruction, engagement with students, and a willingness to reflect on feedback. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm looking for opportunities to celebrate those strengths and support continued growth. During walkthroughs, I'm going to collect objective evidence rather than subjective opinions. Depending on the purpose of the visit, evidence might include student engagement, teacher questioning, student discourse, instructional strategies, checks for understanding, learning objectives, differentiation, classroom routines, and evidence of student learning. I'm going to use Google Forms as the primary digital platform for collecting walkthrough data, and this is going to allow me to use consistent observation uh, use a consistent observation template. It's going to help me organize evidence, identify those trends, and provide teachers with timely feedback. So after the walkthrough, can expect a brief written feedback that includes evidence, celebration, or identified strength, and one actionable opportunity for reflection or growth when appropriate. Feedback is going to be communicated through the digital observation forum or an individual follow up conversation when a longer coaching conversation would be beneficial. And so teachers will not be expected to make immediate changes based on every walkthrough. Instead, I want you to reflect on the evidence, consider whether feedback aligns with your instructional goals, and then identify what you might continue, adjust, or explore with. Um, Fisher and Frey of 2019 also demonstrate that concrete evidence can make professional reflection and debriefing more meaningful. So, likewise, Treadway et al. Of 2021 emphasizes that classroom observations should matter by connecting observation evidence to the professional learning and improved practice. Ultimately, our walkthrough process is about supporting teachers and improving student learning. So, my commitment is to enter classrooms with curiosity, collect objective evidence, provide timely and meaningful feedback, and then use what I learned to support teachers rather than simply evaluate them. I want our classrooms to be places where teachers feel comfortable taking instructional risks, reflecting on their practices, celebrating successes, and continuing to grow. Lastly, I want to thank you for everything you do for our students, and I look forward to learning alongside you and supporting you throughout the school year.